Welcome to the Real Voices podcast, where we explore the personal journeys of real estate professionals through their own unique challenges and successes. Real Voices is brought to you by Equitable Title and Escrow, providing a better approach to title and escrow through team support and innovative services. Welcome to another great show. We have another great guest, Nicole Aldaz. All right, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being on today.
Well, thank you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about who you are, who you're with, as far as a real estate company, and how long have you been in the industry?
So, I work with the Medrano Group at Home Smart Realty,
Okay.
and love it. Got my license actually in the end of 2018,
Okay.
and joined the team in 2019.
Okay.
And Home Smart, so I haven't been anywhere else. I don't want to go anywhere else. It's awesome. And what was the other question?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
That's where I started.
Okay, so 2018. So you spent about a year on your own before you joined the team?
No, I didn't. I got licensed in December.
Oh, okay.
Like I came
Okay.
straight to. I haven't had any other experience before that, but
Okay.
but I love it, and definitely huge value being on a team, and this team especially, because I've kind of become the culture police. So we have a great thing going. Yeah.
Awesome.
for sure.
Awesome. So you make sure everyone's on the up and up and feeling good about themselves.
They do.
And, cool,
That's my
cool.
favorite thing, to make people happy.
Cool.
So,
What did you do before?
right before this.
Oh, before you came into the industry, what were you
Okay,
doing before?
so I'll give you the shortest version of my long life.
It's all good. We got time.
Okay, so I actually was in the restaurant business for 13 years.
Okay.
And I was a regional manager of guest services.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Marie Callender's, but
Yes.
used to fly around the country opening restaurants and teaching classes and stuff like that. It was great. I got married, actually met my husband there. And now we have 9 kids.
Wow.
So
Wow.
by the time we got to 5 kids, it was like, can I still keep traveling? Probably not, right? So I stayed home, which was a blessing, right? Got to take care of the kids, but always am very active and always going. So I got my degree online in accounting, and so I did that, and I helped him. My husband had a mortgage company
Okay.
back in the early 2000s, so I helped him with all the HR and all that type of paperwork and stuff like that. And that was great, and with a balance with the kids and everything like that. But once my youngest got older, I was like, okay, I cannot stay home all day and do nothing, right? So actually I spent a lot of time volunteering, right? So I volunteer with Little League, I volunteer with Girl Scouts, now I volunteer with the Booster Club band. And so, like I said, when my youngest got into school, I was like, okay, I need to do something more. And I was on the board of the Little League with Elazar Medrano, and he was the treasurer. And it was like, okay, well, what should I do? And anyway, I'd been around real estate, right, with the mortgage company, and my mom has a real estate license and stuff like that. So I said, well, maybe I'll try that. And I always am saying in our group chat, I found my passion at 46, right? Like, I love it. I love helping people. Like, it's one of the biggest events in their life, right? Buying a house, where you're going to go, where you're going to live, it's in every day and night. And the place that you're going to be, is it what you love? Is it what you need? Is it what your family needs? Is your family growing? Is your family downsizing? Like, there's so many aspects to being able to help people. And as I got into it, I found not every agent is great, right? So I'm like, I felt like I could help people, right, achieve their goals and protect them from things that they might not know.
Right.
So that's kind of it. And in the beginning, Elazar told me, go listen to this guy speak at Severar. At the time it was Severar, right? And his name was Michael Mayer.
Okay.
He wrote a book called 7 Levels of Communication. He was there talking about how to have a housewarming party, right? And you partner with different vendors and things like that, but you really throw this great party for these people and, give value, right? And that was great. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Well, at the end of that hour free, tour, it was like, hey, we're selling tickets to our event next March or whatever, the following month it was. And, you get Sever special, whatever it was. But I had to leave to go register kids for tryouts at Little League, right? So I just like, here's my card. I'll see you that next month or whatever. And so, long story short, that whole model is about building businesses on love, generosity, and appreciation.
Love it.
And I went to that seminar, and it was like the skies parted, and I was like, wait a minute, I can volunteer, have events, partner with charities, give to people, and it turns into a business, right? No chasing, no cold calling, like just attraction.
Yeah.
And I could probably talk about that for a couple hours, so I don't need to. But
let me ask you about that though, because I think a lot of newer agents in particular are scared of the attraction model. Mm-hmm. They feel like they gotta reach out and buy leads and buy all these things and try and find new people that way. So, I mean, I think it's amazing that you were able to grasp that and then move forward with that. Talk to me about that. Because that's not normally what people are taught. It's usually go knock on doors and chase, right? So, did you hear a different way of doing it before then?
Well, so I did. I mean, you have to have all components, right? I mean, well, theoretically, you have to have all components, okay? But when you're a couple of years in, well, I'll get to that. But you can have leads and call. I joined the team, right? There were leads and there was calling and that kind of thing. But really, it just really spoke to me because I get up in the morning, it's a different mindset, right? You don't get up and you're like, oh, am I going to call? How am I going to get a deal? And, this type of thing that's really kind of stressful. Yeah. Instead, it was more like, do what you're supposed to do, be consistent with it, and don't worry about that, right? Like, don't put that pressure on you because it changes. It changes how you help people. It changes how your day goes. It changes, just interactions with your family. I mean, all kinds of that kind of mindset, right? And so this is, get a charity, identify a charity, have an event, get some sponsors in there, bring people together, everybody's happy, enjoying themselves, and when they think of real estate, they're going to think about you because you're always there's a system to it, right? Like there's an invite process, and you're constantly in front of them, and you're calling them for reasons other than real estate. They know you're a realtor.
Yeah, but you're loving on them.
Give massive value first is really the philosophy, and it maybe very successful in the business right away, really fast. I went to that conference in March. In April, I took the second class, which was Event Mastery, how to have an event, put all the components together. I had a couple events, filled up some movie theaters, had an ice cream social, these things, partnered with charities, gave away things. By November, I was in Atlanta speaking at the conference about love, generosity, appreciation, and how to attract people and just give. And then we had another huge successful team event, like 4 theaters at Arizona Mills, and we partnered with actually a teenage girl out of Peoria who collects coats for the homeless and the Phoenix Rescue Mission. So we partnered with her and collected a couple hundred coats that day. It's just like, that kind of, I drive around listening to music, happy all day, helping people, right? How do you turn that into a business?
I hear you.
And so, in HomeSmart related, I was able to earn the Diamond Award in my first full year of real estate.
That's
by
special,
giving, right? By giving.
Yeah.
And so I've just been very blessed. That is cool. It is definitely a passion. Yeah. I like to help people. When we talk about numbers and that type of thing, it kind of causes me stress.
I get it.
Like, don't tell me. Yeah. And in fact, Elazar's to the point where he's just like, you know what? How many houses did you sell? Nicole, how many families did you help?
There you
right?
go.
And so it's definitely different than the industry, but it works. I mean, it works for me anyway.
I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. That's something that I try and harp on, is that attraction. Who you're attracting. Yeah. If your business is rough, it's because you're attracting those people to you. Whatever you're doing, you're bringing them in. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit, like your upbringing. When you're a kid, you're a little girl, running around town. Who were you looking up to? What did you think you'd be?
An architect.
Okay. That sounds like George Costanza. I always wanted to be an architect.
Yes, that's funny. I did notice that on the episode recently. But yeah, I just, my parents were divorced when I was 8, raised by a single mom, and moved every year. I never went to the same school twice, kind of everywhere. But I just, I don't know if it was through that or what, but I have one little sister. My mom was off working, so I kind of took that leadership role with her, right, and parenting kind of role, and it's just always been that way. But in high school, I took one of those career tests or whatever, and it was like photographer or architect. But definitely Well, one thing is that, lines and buildings and, how things look or whatever are attractive to me.
Okay.
But the other side of it is people say I have a computer in my brain. Okay. It's kind of funny, but it's like numbers just come to me. And so I intentionally have to push them out.
Wow.
And not think of it. Like, for example, this morning somebody said, okay, if it was $1,600 a month for 11 months, how much is that? And everybody stopped and they all turned their head to me. Nicole, right? And so I'm like, oh. So, but back to the, the generosity and the attraction and that, it can't be related to numbers or to money. It's really, if you're on a mission to help people to achieve their goals, to partner with charities and to be part of a cause, it's definitely attractive for people.
I really thank you. I'm just trying to get back. Like, I know in my life, but I just consider myself an anomaly because I know who I am. Right, it's me. But how do you like stay true to that in all of the?
Oh, Marlo, that is hard. That is hard because you have all of a different message coming in all the time, right. And this past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, I lost that mindset and I got to, oh no, we're going to get to the end of the year and I won't have the numbers I'm supposed to have. And it's stressful, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's really intentional. You have to be intentional about pushing that out, right? About pushing not just numbers out, but the model or whatever is not you. So if it doesn't feel that it's you shouldn't be doing it. Right, you stay true to yourself, and the rest will work itself out. Right, if I try to achieve or compete or whatever, like I have that internally, right? But it changes your mindset and your focus, right? So as soon as I actually have a real estate coach, 2 real estate coaches that I've hired, but who earlier today was we had a call. He said, "Yep, as soon as you released it, 2 under contract." Right. Wow. So in the last 5 days, 2 under contract, right? Because it was, in the last couple of weeks that I was like, okay, I'm just off path. I did not worry about that. I need to go back to what I was doing. I need to plan my events. I need to give love on people, drop things off, whatever, Not pop buys, not like marketing pop buys, but like I have a client who is a COVID nurse on a COVID floor and somebody that I know recently had it. So I was able to help kind of give some guidance. Yeah. But that was great of her. So I'm going to bring her nothing but kink. Right? So, yeah.
Truly loving on people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Knowing who they are and what they're, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language now. Some of it's like, to some it seems frou-frou and all that, but there's something to mindset and just being true to self. Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, it's not going to work for you. Right? Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, you have to operate from a place of abundance and not scarcity. Right. Yeah. The scarcity is literally scarcity, like scares you, right? Yep. So, no, don't do that. When you change your mindset, operate from abundance, love on people. It works.
Absolutely.
I have no science. I don't have bullet points for it, but
it just seems to work.
I have testimony for it.
There you go.
I have proof of it.
There you go. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. So, do you get to read much? It sounds like you do, but what do you read much? And if you do,
like for leisure,
whatever that
probably
looks
not for leisure.
Okay. So when you do, I guess a book that has touched you, is there a book out there that you're like, oh, that's the one?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Seven levels of communication.
That was the one that did it for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really, it's so many strategies that you can't really put them all into words. I mean, into implementation. But it's written as a story as opposed to a business book. Like if you're going to read, those business books and strategies and they're kind of dry or whatever. But this is almost a love story, but it's written as a story. So the main character is a realtor whose business is tanked. And he's in the office with this really successful realtor. And it's like, what's going on? And then he meets a person that actually does this program that I was speaking about. And through the course of the book, follows the coach and does all these things, and then is hugely successful, right? Because of these philosophies that I'm talking about. But it's handwritten notes, right? Like, and there's a strategy to that. It has to be in a colored envelope, blue ink up and to the right. Like, there's details to it. But every single meeting, so I meet with somebody and I'm like, hey, great listening appointment. I'm gonna write them a handwritten note. Thanks for spending time with me. I love the way you did this or that, whatever it is. But that's something that people appreciate, right? It's kind of like lost.
It's different.
It is. Different, yeah. It is. So that, and then, like I said, I've mentioned several times the events, right? Staying in communication with them, calling them for a reason they want to be called for, right? Yeah. Like when they see me calling, they're like, "Oh, she's not going to talk to me about my house and do you want to list or buy? She's going to talk to me about something cool and fun." Yeah. And but in that event, we have door prizes, and then in the door prize form, there's a place that they can send us referrals. So my very first event, I think I had 9 referrals, and I closed 2 deals that year from it, right? And that was,
paid for itself, right?
Yeah. It did. It did. Well, actually, we didn't pay for it because our sponsors did.
There you go. Even better. Just got to know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but to really, I mean, I came into real estate not knowing anything sales wise or whatever, and I would not have been on that path or been able to do that without Elazar. Like 24/7, you can call him, right? So, and I did. Right. Like 11:30. Oh no, I got to do this or that one at a time. But patient, like in really, after I finished my classes, I was being recruited by another brokerage, right? So, and I had a conversation with my husband, like, should I go here or should I go here? And he was like, you definitely should go with Elazar. He has skin in the game. He knows him. He's like, look, he's gonna give you all this up front. He's gonna give you all the skills and that. And like I said, it's been 3 years, so it was the early part of the team, right? And it's, I mean, just even still, anytime I have a question or whatever, that is valuable. But not only that, the culture on the team is valuable. Yeah. Because really, like if I had gone with the other one, I'd just be sitting in an office going, what would I do? Right? Or hire a mentor to give me a couple transactions. Yeah. But the couple transactions, that's great. But then what happens after that and after that?
What do I do?
Yeah. And there's so many tools of business planning and, accountability. I will tell you what, Marlo, this morning, one of the gentlemen on our team is working on social media, right? So I was like, okay, great. Social media, he needs some actors for a video that he was doing. But he needed 6. That's a lot, right? And so, you know what? We all stayed after our meeting. We shot his video. He's done, and he's on his way. That type of thing. So whatever it is we need, there's a definitely culture and a group of people that support all the time.
That's rare. That's rare. Cool.
Yeah. So between that combination, like how could, if I wasn't successful, there'd be a problem, right? But,
that's great.
Yeah.
It's a great team story. I mean, that's just a different team. The team model that I normally see is just, you got a guy
office hours and call it, and no, we don't.
Yeah. No. So it's definitely different.
Yeah. And I'm blessed to be the culture police. So there's an interview process, and then we go to actually Sandbar or something, lunch, whatever, and it's almost like initiation.
Yeah,
will you fit in our team?
Can you handle this?
Yeah. Well, because I mean, we have to be honest and and transparent and all these accountability and is this a person I would trust with my everything? We have to be more vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. And so, is this a person I would trust with my
secrets?
Yeah.
My struggles.
Yes, this is my tribe. Yeah.
Okay,
so it's definitely it's great. And we've had some come and go, right? Mm-hmm. And not everybody's a fit, but when you're in, it's like
cool.
And the tools are crazy.
That is cool. Rare.
Yeah.
So as the culture police, I'm just thinking about what you bring. So I'm more thinking about your family. Like, what would they say you're always harping on or preaching on? What would they say that you try and get across to them?
To my husband, my kids, and that.
Yeah, like what?
Okay, so that immediately I popped to my mind is Girl Scouts, right? Because there's a lot of integrity, right? There's giving, leaving a place better than you found it, doing things for others, right? And so we've been involved. I have 7 daughters, but 3 of them are still in Girl Scouts, and it's their 9th year. So they've just been raised that way, right? I mean, they're learning all kinds of skills. I can't even. But as far as like what I harp on in philosophy, it's integrity and helping people and giving first. So.
Thank you.
Love, generosity, and appreciation.
There you go.
That's it.
Thank you. So a struggle. Is there a struggle that you're having right now? You're feeling like, man, what we're going to do? What are you struggling with in the business?
Well, for a bit, it was getting buyers under contract, right? Like,
yes, everybody is struggling with that. Yeah.
That was pretty stressful. But
how did you manage that time? Is that when the mindset started?
No.
Okay. How did you manage that time?
No, actually, I will tell you what. Because we were trying to help these people so badly, we got FHA buyers under contract without all of the hoops twice. Wow. And they canceled twice. That was crazy. I think that was a thorn in the side. But
what are you guys doing?
But yeah, well, first when they got the first one, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, and there was some kind of crazy thing. But anyway, it's been a struggle, but we've been successful. You know, there's a lot of strategies, and in our team meetings every week, we talk about that. This is my client. What would you do? Whenever we have chats and, just resources. And I've never felt that I didn't know what to do, right? Or if I didn't have a person to ask. But struggling at the moment, recently, like I said, it was the mindset, right? Yeah. And now my focus is to sellers, so I'm learning that. There's always something to do or learn. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but very eye-opening. Been talking with like big listing agents around and getting their tips and advice and stuff like that. And that's another part of my generosity generation is there's a network of people across the country. So my first experience at that conference, I tried to give a referral in Seattle. And since then, they've sent me 16.
It's amazing how that works.
16. Right? It was like crazy. So.
Agents always tell me that I just moved here, so I'm like, but people from where you left, right? Like, that's money. Yeah. It's 25%. Yeah. Right. So.
Well, one of the agents in our group moved to Florida and started picking up trash in the park, and it turned into a connection with the Chamber of Commerce. Wow. And now, 2 years later, she's like,
that's
running all
people.
These things.
That's her. That's interesting. Yeah. Picking up trash, just finding a little project or some passion that she had. So because it turned into, so they're near the water, right? So now they're just doing all these projects to clean up the water and that type of thing. So I like that. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I had a great conversation with you. It was refreshing and. You're speaking my language, so I appreciate that.
Attracting.
Yes.
We'll be puddies. Yes. I don't know Instagram, but you can get my Facebook.
We're old. I'm on Facebook too, remember?
Perfect.
Well, again, appreciate you coming on. Where can the people find you at? How can they get a hold of you?
It's 559-575-5831.
Okay.
Easiest on Facebook, though.
Okay.
Nicole Aldaz.
All right. Email?
Yeah, Nicole@themadronogroup.com.
Awesome. We'll get it on the screen too. So
You'll need to.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I had a great time.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one.